Timelapse Boy 63 here, and in today's video, I'm going to be replacing a capacitor in a ceiling fan. Now, this ceiling fan here is the problematic one. It is a Hunter ceiling fan, and they've already sent us a new package. And what's in that package is a new capacitor. We got this fan last May, so May of 2023. And it started to fail around November of 2023. It just quit speeding up. And we filed a report with it, and what happened was they basically just sent us a new capacitor. And it just shipped in the mail, well, just arrived, and we were putting it in today. So, what's wrong with this fan is the capacitor, at least that's what Hunter thinks. The high works fine, but medium and low barely even work. Now, I'm going to skip past high and just go straight to medium so I can show you what I mean. So I pulled it twice there. That is what medium does. Maybe it helps if I turn off this light. Oh yeah. So that's what medium does. It's just slow. And if I pull it once more to put on the low setting. Here, let me give it a moment. It'll eventually stop though. And there's that. That is on low. It's not even moving. And I can prove it. Light is still on. And this whole thing is controlled by one switch. So it's not like a half and half thing. If I pull this, it's still off. Once more would be high. Again, the only one that works. So high works. Maybe a little slow for high though, but I don't know. But high works. Medium barely turns it. And low does not turn it at all. And once again, these are both controlled by the same switch. Not that that would matter, but yeah. Now, I've already done a capacitor replacement before. And it was on this fan. This is an older Hunter fan here again. But I've replaced the capacitor on this, and now this thing works perfectly. But for whatever reason, on this fan, which is a brand new ceiling fan, it decided just to fail. The other one was like 20 years old, so it's expected. But this fan here, it should not have failed. So our 1-year warranty was able to get us a capacitor replacement here. So let's go ahead and get the old one out, and let's see what we can do with this. So instead of it just being the capacitor, it appears to have also given us a new coil for the Chang. There. So that'll eliminate that. And then they also gave us a new directional switch, which on this fan I think is like over here. But yeah, it's that thing. They gave us a new one of those too. So we will get this old one down and see what we can do with this new capacitor. Hopefully it fixes the speed issues we're having. First and foremost, turn off the power. And if I put this on high again, obviously I could just like walk over and I could just flip it off. But let's do one better and actually turn off at the breaker, because that's always the safest measure. And you will double check that it's turned off when the when the fan does this and there's no power. And you can use a little non-contact voltage tester or a voltmeter, just something that'll verify there's no power in the fan. But yeah, I'll go do that now. Alright, there's the fan slowing down. I shut the breaker off to it. And we need a Phillips screwdriver. Each fan may be a little bit different though, so make sure you check out with your own fan to see what you need. But go ahead and once again, no power. So if we sand and we have to loosen these screws here. Now, hopefully we don't have to take off the blades, because that would be very unfortunate. But yeah, the cool thing is that we can do most of this from sitting down at a table. And what I mean by that is, we are actually going to be taking this whole fixture down. Not the ceiling fan, but just the light part of it. And, most fans have a little twist hook, which basically means 2 of the screws up here you just have to loosen. And you only have to fully take out 1 of them. And I can see this one over here is another loosening one. Because, oh, I mean, alright. And I have to go around for the other screw. But once you get all that dealt with, the fixture should kind of just come down. This is the one that you fully have to remove. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll hold the camera up here so I can show you exactly what I'm saying. This screw here, you can see it just goes through all the way. That is the only one that has to fully be removed on most of these fans. The other 2 will look like this. Once you loosen them and you take out that other screw, it'll just, this fixture part will just twist off. And you can see it's the same with that part. But, yeah, we just have to fully take out that screw, and then it'll twist off. So, I'm going to do my best with this. Let's see if, come on. Alright, twist. Just like that. Now with most fans, there's a single wire connecting them. Each fan may be different though. You may have 2 individual light wires. It really just depends on the fan. But disconnect the little bracket here. And here we go. We have the fixture. Again, that's as far as we're going with the fan. We don't have to take another thing off of that. If you were to restore power right now, nothing will happen. Because all the controls were in that fixture. So, absolutely nothing will happen if you were to restore power. Because that's simply, those are just connectors. If I hold up the light here, this, man, I need to be more careful. That, it connects to, that other connector. And it has all these parts inside this thing. And all those parts are what actually controls what happens with the fan. The only thing up here this is connecting to are the live wires from the attic in this case, and the motor. It's not connecting to anything else. It's just simply giving power to the light fixture. What we're going to have to do is take this thing out, and I can see... Was this even stuck in there? Okay, I don't know. But we have the fan control. This one's brown, this one's green. Shouldn't really make a difference though. But we have to make sure we get this switch in the same orientation as this one. Because with the wires on here, I mean, if we don't do that, it probably won't be a huge issue, but it'll just be in the opposite direction. Like, if this is in winter mode, it's supposed to be on this side. If it's in summer mode, it's supposed to be that side. It's just, it'll just be flipped the other way. But that's not a huge issue right now. The only thing that's causing is a little bit of misconfusion if you're used to which way it's supposed to be. Anyways, this is the first time I've replaced the capacitor with the actual chain itself and switch. Because when I replaced my kitchen, the capacitor in that fan, all I did was, we got a new capacitor, and we just simply cut off the wires from the old capacitor and just spliced on the new capacitor, and it worked just fine. So I actually left the chain as is, and I left the toggle switch as is. So this is a learning experience for me too. But we're going to be following the instructions, and we are going to be installing this fan mount. What is the name of this? Capacitor. Alright, but once again, remove this one because something's wrong with it, and put this one in. That is what we're doing. But I have just finished looking over the instructions, and they actually recommend taking light bulbs and globes off. I probably should have done that, but yeah, it's not really that huge of a deal if you're careful. But yeah, we are through this part here, because here's where they disconnect the fixture from the fan, and now you're removing this part. Alright. With this switch here, let's go ahead and take that out. So, we just loosen these up, I guess. Everything... Oh. Get in here, Brinkley. Alright, so, if we loosen these up, once again, keep track of the screws. This piece should just kind of come out. And, I'm going to do everything in response to the instructions once again. So, I'm not going to be leaving anything out. This is going to be exactly how Hunter wants us to do this. And this will be very similar to other types of fans. It just may be different connectors or whatnot. So, we have removed the direction switcher. Can't think of the actual name for it. But, with this part here, now we have to disconnect these wires. Yeah, both of these in this fan specifically are the light wires. Blue is the hot, white is the neutral, and they both go to this light kit for the bulbs. But getting these off, I've learned, is not the easiest thing to do. What you have to do is, I'll show you on the new one. You can see these, little notches. You just have to squeeze, and then they'll pull off. You have to, it's basically, there's these little clips in here, and you have to get past those clips in order to get these off. And by squeezing, we can disconnect these. Yeah, I can see this one's coming out, just like that. The blue is separated from the black. And Hunter actually made it, simpler, oh my gosh, made it, easier to do this. Because if you look at the ones from, if I take, so everything over here will be removed. This stuff won't be removed. If you look at this, though, the blue gets connected to the black. You can see the opposite connectors. The ones on the, capacitor here, or the wire harness, as Hunter calls it, they're opposites. And these are opposites. Which makes it easier, because here you can't connect the neutral to the hot side, and you can't connect the neutral to the hot side for the light. So it's an easy, foolproof solution. Now, whatever you do, do not ever connect these together. They will fit, but especially with this here, you are shorting out a circuit. Hot, flowing, neutral, return. You are shorting out the circuit if you connect those together. So make sure you do not do that. Only connect those. So when I remove this, only connect the light wires, or the light kit wires, with the ones from the new capacitor. But from that, what we have to do now, it appears, is to remove this chain. There's these little notches on these chains that we can just take off. It's different for each fan, but every fan I've seen has had this type. Oh. Excuse my dog again. Okay, back from that. It's a clip that looks like this. And it just slides off. And, yeah, simple as that. But now, I'm going to twist this over to make you guys see this better. Right here. Just simply untwist this. This little nut pops off. And then you should just be able to pull it out, just like that. And here is the old capacitor. The issue one. Do not get these mixed up, or else you will have just wasted time, because you will be putting the broken one back in. So, oh man, my dogs. Alright, so, what you have to do now is go ahead and line up this new connector with the old fan slot. Untwist the twister, or whatever it's called. And slide it through the connector. Now I realize that we actually got the wrong color for this, but it's no big deal. We could just simply take out this old black chained, or whatever you call it, from here. But it's not a huge deal, just leave it like this. Yes, the light chain won't match with the fan chain anymore, but it'll make it better once we add the chain here back. And I also don't think Hunter would approve of me doing a switch like that. A switch where we literally cut off this old switch. Because who knows, that switch could be the issue. We suspect the capacitor from this, which is this gray block. But who really knows? The whole thing could be faulty. Put the chain through the screw-on housing. I don't know the official name for this. Okay, here we go. You just screw that on. Nice and firm. Reconnect your chain. And just like that. Now, you can see that these are different colors. Once again, this part here. But it's not that huge of a deal. I don't want to risk taking the old assembly off of this just for the chain here. Because if I were to do that, there's a fairly good chance that I would mess something up. Something will go wrong. There's too many hazards. So I'm just going to leave it as is. With that done, now let's move over to this directional switch. What we need to do with this is, let's get everything else out of the way. So line it up the same way your old one was lined up. Again, I kept in this direction for a reason. If I hold it like this, here's the fan switch. The fan switch is still over here, just like this. And here's the directional switch. Here's this. So with this old one, now your wire layout may be a little different, but I got lucky here in this case because it's the exact same. You have yellow and white, so I can put the yellow and white on one side, and then you have gray and pink on the other, which is just like that. So, you have to get around all these other connectors. Just put the, simply line up the connector within the slot here. Alright. And then we're going to take our screws and screw it down. It appears that if we get this thing stuff down there. So here's the light kit. It appears that it's already giving us some connectors here. So let's go ahead and just take these off. Okay, there we go. We have that one off. And now, let's get this one off. Alright. So just connect these together. Hot to hot, so blue to black. Neutral to neutral, white to white. And just make them lock in together. Just like that. Pull in. That's not coming apart. And then we have the alright. Those are both together well. And once again, we have black to blue and white to white. Let's stuff these down here. And just kind of get these out of the way. But now, in theory, we should be ready to reconnect this to the housing or the actual fan. The fan assembly. Because we have this connector here, which matches this connector, and make sure these match, like actually. But let's go back to the fan and let's reconnect this. So now, since we're back at the fan, connect the colors to each other, like red to red, black to black, and match them up with the connectors up on the fan. There we go. It clicked in place. And yeah. Now you shouldn't leave it hanging for long, but it'll kind of help ensure that they're, really connected together, which they are. Yeah, red, red. Match the letters up A to A. And again, each fan will be different, but it'll have a similar setup to this. And now, just get everything to line up, which this is always the most difficult part. We got one of them lined up. Oh, there we go. That twisted into place, and now we need to add that third screw from the other side. And that'll keep everything together. After we get this screw put in, we have to tighten up the two other screws. Now tighten down the two twist connector screws. And make them fairly tight. Don't strip them out though. Alright. And that's up there. So now is the moment of truth to see if this works out. We have now replaced the capacitor, and it's back to how the fan was at the beginning. The light works just fine. And then, if we test out the fan, right now it's in the off position. Here's high. And it's currently in winter mode. There we go. Alright, so this is on the high setting once again. Let's see how much air this pushes. Now, the high setting was the only one that worked correctly from the beginning. But yeah, the high setting seems to be working. Let's try medium. How about low? Alright, so yeah, it's working. I turned off the fan, and once I turned it back on, it's speeding up, and this is on the low setting. So that capacitor was definitely the issue, because it still is progressively getting quicker. And if we try medium, so off, high, medium, this is like, I mean, a lot better than it was since it wasn't even working. But yeah, that's how that works out. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. But Joey. But yeah, have a great day and peace out, everyone.